Project Wingman is the game of my dreams. That is not an exaggeration. Allow me to explain. In 2001, Ace Combat 4 released. I was 8 years old at the time, and jet fighters and race cars were the coolest things on the planet, as they still are. In that game, you play as Mobius 1, i.e. the Ribbon Fighter, the Grim Reaper, the second half of my YouTube name. I played this game so damn much within the next 4 years after its release that I wanted to fully immerse myself as Mobius 1. None of this looking around through a screen and moving your field of view around with a thumbstick bullcrap. I wanted to be there. I wanted to look around and see Stonehenge in full scale. I wanted to fly through megaliths missile port grooves and see them in full 3D. I wanted to be Mobius 1. So I did what any 9-year-old would do and drew up a schematic for a capsule that you would be able to sit in, complete with a throttle, flight stick, and a screen for the canopy, and play Ace Combat 4 exclusively. This capsule would allow you to look around and track targets, see the massive super weapons, and experience the game as if you were actually there. This was my 9-year-old brain trying to come up with what would eventually become virtual reality, albeit way less efficient. Fast forward a few years, after the immense disappointment that was waiting a full year for the 3 VR missions in Ace Combat 7 to be cleared to release on PC, and then never getting them, I just sat there going, fuck. All the VR flight games out right now are all hyper-realistic simulated whales! I regret not backing Project Wingman during its initial Kickstarter phase. I honestly had no idea. This wasn't on my radar. However, this is exactly what my 9-year-old brain was envisioning 19 years ago. A full single-player campaign where you sit in a 3D cockpit in an Ace Combat style game. Oh my god. The moment it finished downloading, I revved up my X55 and Oculus Rift. After I set up all my key bindings and put the video settings where my computer wouldn't explode, I set forth as Monarch, the game's protagonist. Before we go any further, if you have not played the game yet, and you have even the slightest want to, stop watching this video now. You need to go and experience this story cold. I'm not kidding. Go play it and come back. Welcome back. Holy shit, I know, right? So the first time I found myself in the F4's cockpit flying over the Gulf of Mexico and seeing the first target pop up on screen, dude, it almost brought a tear to my eye. It plays exactly like an Ace Combat game, almost 1-to-1. By the way, I play every Ace Combat game on easy. Project Wingman is no different. I'm trying to experience the story of an OP fighter pilot, not flex my massive edict to randos on the internet. I did that enough in the Ace Combat 6 online days when I flew with the Sins and Saints over 10 years ago. If you know what any of that means, fucking oof, I'm sorry. Anyway, back on topic. It fully set in, this is exactly what I've been wanting when you finish Mission 1. And some exposition happens. Due to this being a Kickstarter-funded indie game, there are no story cutscenes, so everything had to be done through radio chatter and briefings. But during this exposition, I realized that if I was playing this on a regular screen, I would have had to move my camera around to see the massive explosion that took place, or the late-to-the-party ass Mother Goose squadron flying past the island surveying the shit you blew up before they could. I am Monarch. Right now, I'm experiencing this story how Monarch would see it himself. And because of this, the rest of the campaign was bitch! Seeing the orientation of your target on your radar that is on the plane's instrument panel, and then setting yourself up to swoop in behind him while physically looking through the top of your canopy, it's just fucking... I'm not going to say anything critical about the graphical quality. I fully understand that it is not the best when viewed through a VR headset, especially a Rift from 2017 going through a 1080 Ti. However, I will say, at least try to have the clouds and shadows at a high level, because the lighting with the high-level shadows is fucking amazing. Seeing Crimson Squadron show up for the first time was my first oh shit moment of the game, giving me flashbacks to Lifeline and Shattered Skies. You know, enemy squadron shows up, everyone goes oh fuck and flees. Yeah, Crimson 1, who is the main antagonist to your story, is the leader of the Federation's peacekeeping squadron, Crimson Squadron. Duh. The Federation being who you're fighting against, at least now, because you're a mercenary going where the money goes and getting paid by the Federation in the first mission. A few more missions blowing shit up with the biggest damn smile on my face, and you see Crimson Squadron again after a massive aerial battle. They flee after you raw dog a few of Crimson 1's squad mates, so you don't actually kill the lead guy halfway through the game. But after this mission ends, you're met with another bout of exposition from your squad mates who can't believe they're still alive. The Allies' morale shot way up after this victory, so much so to the point where I was a little uneasy, knowing that something shitty is gonna happen later on just from the way they were talking. Anyway, you find out why the game is called Project Wingman, because in the next mission you end up fighting this absolute bullshit enemy that might as well have a mana bar, hyper-maneuvering maneuverable and hyper horny to kill you. It doesn't matter where that plane is pointing, the rapid-fire railgun is pointing directly at you all the time. And Jesus Christ, in 3D it's terrifying. Also terrifying, hilariously enough, is flying through tunnels, which you would think would come naturally to someone whose favorite Ace Combat mission ever is blowing up megalith. Doing that in virtual reality hit different. Weirdly. Besides that little moment after shooting a bunch of Crimson down that made me squint my eyes in suspicion, the rest of the campaign proceeds as you think it would. Until Mission 15! If you still haven't played the game yet, and you've gotten this far into the video, this is your last chance. Go now. Fucking play the game. Your mission is to take back Prospero, which goes well until it doesn't. Basically, the Federation looked at Belka and went, 7 nukes, huh? That's cute. You are suddenly met with a barrage of non-priority cruise missiles that are tipped with cordium, the main element in the lore of this world, that is said to have anomalous properties? You can try to destroy all of them, I mean, it would be valiant, but eventually enough SCP-tipped cruise missiles end up hitting the city, causing the tectonic plates along the entire Ring of Fire to become unstable, and bring back Calamity. Yeah, the event that set humanity back when it happened the first time over 400 years ago, the Federation made it happen again because they were losing. The whole feel of the game changes from this point onward. Just looking over the side of the plane, hearing the immense explosions louder than anything else, and realizing that you're not failing the mission. This is how the story is supposed to go. Was just holy shit. That when Calamity actually happens again and you have a film of dust over your eyes, this is the level of immersion that I've been creaming myself over this whole video. In the next mission, you don't even change your plane. It's literally just go straight home through the maelstrom of floating rocks that I haven't figured out if you can crash into yet. This break in the pattern of storytelling was yet another oh shit moment. So the world looks like it's ending around you. You've been targeted by the Mother Goose Squadron again with the bitch that was piloting the Project Wingman plane earlier. You end up shooting them down, then try to salvage what the sweet hell is going on. A lengthy exposition cutscene then occurs, which in VR was probably the most jarring part of the campaign. After getting used to seeing only a screen in front of you during briefings, you're met with 3D tables and an angle next to you with a helmet on them. That was weird. Anyway, you finally shoot down Crimson Squadron over the same city that ended up being ground zero for Calamity 2 Electric Boogaloo, and then destroy a shitload of ships. Then, it's time to go for Presidia. I was not ready for how this game ended. After you destroy all the priority targets, a ceasefire is declared. During this, I was like, oh man, the war is over. Now would be the perfect time for some bullshit to have. Yep, there it is. It's your boy Crimson 1, back from the dead to bring you Calamity 3. This time it's personal. This time there's no one else on radar. It's just you and maybe your WSO if you pick the 2-seater plane. Forgot to mention, your WSO talks, her call sign is Prez, and she is currently the Ace Combat community's waifu of the month. This dude just single-handedly caused Calamity for a 3rd time, which can't be good for the planet, and is now blaming you for it. Like he has no control over his actions. The final battle with Crimson 1 is fucking epic. You and him performing a death waltz above a burning hellscape. There was a point on my first playthrough, while I was dodging obscene amounts of ordnance, where I physically looked down at my instrument panel, thought to myself, holy shit, what is going on? Took a deep breath, and continued fighting. That may not seem like a lot, but I've never experienced that kind of oh fuck moment before in gaming. Because any other time, I'm looking through a TV screen, which, for me, leaves me detached from what's happening. Like when Belka blew up their border in Ace Combat 0, I remember thinking, oh damn, I wonder what Cypher is thinking right now, because even though I was in full control of his plane, I was still watching the events unfold through a window, moving my view around with a thumbstick, desperately trying to find which directions the explosions were coming from. Sure, there's a cockpit view, but I'm not in that cockpit. Here? I am in this cockpit. I am fighting Crimson 1 right now. I'm looking directly at him and his anomalous powered Project Bullshit Mark 1, trying to dodge everything he's throwing at me. But when the mission finally ends, and you win the battle, alone. You're alone. If you're in a two-seater, Prez is passed out behind you. I looked down at my radar, and then at the sunset, and heard the last few notes of Coronation fade out. My jaw was on the floor. This game ended not with a fanfare, not with a story of Monarch the hero, but the complete and total destruction of everyone. Except you. Which I wasn't expecting. You learn later, after completing the campaign on the highest difficulty, that some of your comrades survived, but I didn't know that! I thought I was the last human on the planet, are you kidding me? And I'm not playing this game on Mercenary, fuck that noise. You unlock the super planes after completing easy mode, so I'm good with that. But fuck, fuck! Never ever, while playing any video game in my life, have I felt anything like I did after completing this story. I don't even know how to describe it. I legit thought Project Wingman ended with you being the last surviving human on the planet. And I felt that. And that feeling has 100% everything to do with it being in VR. I was able to be Monarch. I saw everything through his eyes as he would have. I watched as a global superpower committed the mother of all war crimes. I witnessed calamity strike twice with my own eyes. If the instrument panel in front of me was solid, I could have touched it. I experienced everything that Monarch did to the best possible ability that video games nowadays can. It is literally what I've always wanted. It's what I've dreamed of. And I love it for that. I have a three-way tie for my personal best video game of all time. They're all amazing in their own way, which is why I can't place them 1 through 3. I like them all equally for different reasons. Those 3 games are Ace Combat 4, F-Zero GX, and Portal 2. Number 2 on this list is now Project Wingman. To me, that's how good this game is. It also made me realize that if Ace Combat 4, 5, and 0 were ever remastered on PC with VR capability, I will probably jizz so hard it would kill me.